Assalamu alaikum and welcome to our very first interview. We have Linda, Sister Linda, all the way from Lebanon, and today's topic is going to be about COVID and how it affected her health once she's had it. So, Assalamu alaikum, Linda.
Alaikum assalam.
So I've got a few questions I'd like to ask you. And the first question I'd like to ask you is if you can take us back to the beginning, to when you started to feel unwell.
Yeah, sorry, that was about 10 months ago. It started, first of all, it's my husband. He went down with COVID. About the 18th day of his sickness, he got it really bad as well. He told me not to sleep in the same room as him because he was worried that I'd catch it. So I decided to sleep with my children in the other room. That night I didn't sleep. I had severe fever that went up 42, and sickness and very, very, very bad diarrhea. That morning I entered the room and I asked my husband, "How are you feeling?" And he said, "Alhamdulillah, I'm feeling better," and I collapsed. That's when it started. It's very severe. I mean, I got it the first day and it was very severe that first day. I didn't go into stages. It wasn't like 10 days or 14 days after. It was on the first day I collapsed.
Wow. Okay, and what were your main symptoms?
My main symptoms was on the second day of my COVID, I had very bad trouble breathing, and I coughed up a lot of blood.
Wow. Because you don't hear that. You don't hear about those symptoms at the moment. You hear mainly a cough, a high temperature. So you coughed up blood. And what?
No, I have a high temperature. Yeah, I had a temperature of 42 that didn't go down. Yeah, coughing as usual, but I didn't lose my taste of smell and my taste buds. I mean, they usually say that you can't taste things in that, but no, that was normal for me. It was mainly the coughing, the breathing, and the fever for me.
Wow. Okay, I know these are sensitive questions, but I think you're brave enough to discuss this with me. And also because I know that other people are watching this, and you're in a situation where you can help to encourage individuals that are struggling at the moment. Can you take us to the point where you started to feel your health was deteriorating, like you were at the worst point? Can you take us to that stage?
Yeah, I think that must have been around about the 4th or the 5th day. I kept saying that I'm okay, but then I couldn't walk. My breathing got very worse. I slept in another room so that no one would see how bad I was getting. But then my husband kept coming in saying, "Are you feeling all right? Are you feeling all right? You need to go to hospital." And I said no, because living in Nigeria, obviously there's not enough good hospitals around to take you in. So on the 5th day, yeah, that's when I started getting really bad, and I knew that I wasn't going to get any better.
Okay, and did you go into hospital or did you stay? What was the outcome?
Yeah, on the 6th day, my husband said that that I had to go to hospital. He said to me actually that me and him were going to hospital because, like I said, he had it as well. He had it bad, but not as bad as me. So he packed me a couple of things to go to a hospital. We were in the car going around Lagos. Every hospital that I was in the car, and every hospital that he'd enter inside, they'd say to him, "We don't take COVID, you don't take COVID." So he must have went to about 5 hospitals. And then he was like, he didn't know how to enter the car and tell me that nobody would take me, because he'd seen that I was collapsing, and I was going in front of him. I was disappearing in front of him, and he didn't know what to do until he took me to a isolation center. When I got there, I came down from the ambulance, and my husband opened the door, and then he said, "Madam Linda, you have to enter the hospital." And I looked at my husband and I was like, "But you were meant to come with me." So he looked at me and was like, "I'm sorry, but you have to go, Linda, because it's either I lose you or you have to go to hospital." So I still remember that day. Every time I think it makes me upset. When I was dragging my bag and the man was taking me inside, and I just looked, when I turned around and looked at my husband, I was like, am I going to see him again? Am I going to see my family again? Am I ever going to come out alive? I entered inside the isolation center, the door shut, and I looked around me and I was like, no, I'm definitely not going to come out.
Okay.
I can never forget that.
Wow. And yet you've come so far with the grace of God. What kept you going when you're in hospital, Linda?
When I was in hospital, I think what must have kept me going was I kept thinking of Allah, saying, speaking to him every single minute of the day and saying, please God, give me another chance, give me hope. I mean, Rabbna subhanahu wa ta'ala, he made me stronger. And also my family, I kept thinking of my children, mainly my children, and how am I going to leave them? This is going to be very bad for them if something's going to happen to me inside such a place like this, abroad, away from everybody. Just thinking of that.
And that kept you going?
Yeah.
Wow, mashallah. What would you say the most testing of it all was? Like, what would you say was the most, what tested you the most?
What do you mean by
like what was it? I know you've got like, what would you say was the most difficult thing for you? Was it staying away from your kids? Was it your where you were in the hospital? Because you're quite isolated, weren't you? You didn't see anyone.
It was everything. It was a bit of everything. Being away from my children, being away from my family, my mum, my sisters, my father, everybody, being away from my husband, and not knowing, is this going to be the last minute of your life? Are you going to come out? It's a big, what can I say? It's a test. It's a challenge. Yeah.
And where
was the worst part that I ever experienced out of the whole of the COVID experience, because I was also in the ICU unit for about 3 days. That was very hard.
And you said you felt like you weren't going to come through it. You felt like that was it.
No, yeah. So definitely I did not think that I was going to pull through, but alhamdulillah, Rabbna gave me a chance, and alhamdulillah.
And what was that like for you? What was the like? What was the moment where you were like, yeah, I'm going to do this? Because ultimately we have Allah, and he's the one that puts us through things, and he helps us get through it. You got to get to the point where you have to believe in yourself, and you've got to really fight. So what was your point that you were like, no, I'm not giving up on this. I can't give up on this. What was your point? What made that decision for you?
Rabbna subhanahu wa ta'ala, he gives you a chance, he gives you a test. You either pass it or you fail it. And I felt that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he gave me a chance. He gave me the test. Like I said, going into the isolation center, I was there for about 9 days, and 3 of those days I was in the ICU unit. In the ICU unit, there were 3 of us, me and 2 other men, and 2 of the men were in front of me and 2 of them passed out. Seeing this, to me, was one of the biggest tests, and one of the Rabbna subhanahu wa ta'ala, and I say that he pulled me through this. If Rabbna subhanahu wa ta'ala didn't want to pull me through this, I wouldn't have got through it. That's all I can say.
So you're saying it's basically it was Allah from the beginning.
It's my faith, and I put everything, Ya Rab, and I kept saying every minute, every second of every day that I was there, Ya Rab, if you want to bring me and I want me to pull through this, I will. But subhanallah, as Rabbna doesn't want me to pull through this, this is what he's written for me.
And were you scared?
A lot. Scared a lot. And even now, up to now, because I experienced such a very bad, I was very, very, very critical. My lungs were filled, 85% of my lungs were filled with water. So everybody that saw, as I got back to Lebanon, I was in 8 days again back in hospital. every doctor that saw my x-ray said that to my husband that I am very lucky to be alive, very lucky. They kept saying, what has this woman done for her to have pulled through this? And I said, Alhamdulillah Rabbna, he's the one that helped me pull through it.
Wow. So what would you say your biggest change has been since going through what you've gone through? Because as people, individuals, when we go through different trials and tribulations and tests, I believe they're made, that we're put in this situation to help us change. So what would you say has been your biggest change?
My biggest change and what it taught me is that you shouldn't never grab onto life, never hold on to it, because you never know what's going to happen. Always do anything good now to take you to afterlife. And when you die, the hisab and everything will be better for you in anything you've done in life that is good. Obviously not everyone's perfect. Everybody makes mistakes, and sometimes mistakes get repeated. But for me, my praying was on and off. But alhamdulillah now, since I had this incident with me, it's been on time every day. I don't miss one prayer. I think of anything that I can do to make me in Allah's eyes try to be perfect. I mean, not everyone's perfect, but anyway, to get me towards perfect.
Okay. So you see this test as a blessing?
A lot of people have told me this, and before I used to say, why me? I mean, because I've been through so many hard times in my life. Like I said, this must have been the hardest one. They used to say to me, it's a blessing, because Rabbna gives the critical things to the people that he loves most to see if they're going to pull through. So yeah, now I agree and say it must have been a blessing.
Yeah, subhanallah. If someone's watching you right now and someone's going through a really difficult time, and it's through COVID, because COVID is testing not just you, me, and our families, but it's actually testing the whole world. But if you knew right now someone was listening to you and they're in a critical condition and they've just tuned in today, what would your advice be to them?
I can't say to you, don't be scared, because you're obviously going to be scared. I've been there. But think of your loved ones. Think of Allah, who will never ever leave you, and do the best to help you pull through. And take a deep breath, and inshallah, everything will be better.
And are they the words that you heard when you were not well?
Yeah, I heard it constantly every single day. And alhamdulillah, my sister Nehad helped me a lot.
And it just shows, mashallah, that you are a tough cookie, mashallah, and you are in a position where you can help change and support those without even knowing them. You've gone through one of the most testing times. You can say you felt like you were on the point of no return, and you've come back, and we have to believe, and you have to believe, alhamdulillah, that it's because you got bigger and amazing things coming your way. So I want to take this opportunity to say thank you, and on behalf of myself and the Gems, for talking about something that's really important to you. And we've seen you in your critical stage, and alhamdulillah, another thing is that so many people made dua for you, and we should never underestimate the power of dua. And you are a miracle.
100% I agree with that. Du'as came to me from all over the world. I can't just tell you from one place, from all over the world. And thank you to everybody that did it for me, because du'as are very strong and powerful.
Yeah, and it proves, because you're sitting here today after 10 months.
Yeah, to me that is, I died and came to life again. Rabbna subhanahu wa ta'ala gave me the chance to be reborn again, and it gave me another chance to be stronger health-wise, and stronger in towards him.
Allahu Akbar. So well done, and just keep doing what you're doing, because I know it's not been easy to recover after it. So, and inshallah we'll bring you back on here so you can, you know, share the rest of your wonderful experiences with us. And is there anything you want to say before you go? Or
yeah, everybody take care. Thank you for having me, and stay strong and keep your faith very even stronger.
mashallah, thank you. And thank you for all of you guys that are watching today. Stay tuned, and we'll have another interview in a fortnight. So please, if you've got any questions or you want to be interviewed, please email into Gems of Faith, or go onto our social media, or we've also got a helpline, so just call in and then we'll get back to you. But again, Jazakallah khair, and everyone take care, stay safe, and goodbye for now.